Good morning.
Morning.
And, we haven't done it in a little while, and I was thinking about it today. We probably ought to introduce ourselves, because there's some that's watched these videos. They're probably thinking, who are these two idiots that are in here just talking about...
Maybe we don't want to do that, though. We could be anonymous.
Yeah, nobody trusts Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
So, go ahead.
Well, I'm Audie.
And
you're Colton. Is that what you're
No. Like, what's your credibility here?
My credibility?
Yeah.
I'm alive.
That's not what I meant.
Well, what kind of credibility do I have to have?
Well, why should people believe
what
we talk about?
Well, I guess I'm a graduate gemologist at GIA. Back in the days when we had to answer questions and stuff to get our GG. And
Wait, you think they don't do that now?
no, I don't think they do it the same way. It's just like...
Yeah, well, you also don't dial a phone the same way. Things advance.
So I would have graduated in 78. And doesn't mean probably a whole lot to the listening audience or the watching audience or whatever, but the president of GIA then was Richard T. Liddycoat, which is kind of like big time.
Yeah.
So,
And
and then what after that? I've been in the jewelry business for, well, since 78, I guess.
Yeah.
Traveling salesman for about 3 years, and then I've owned a store since 81. So, that enough credibility. Oh, I got a BS in geology.
There, that's what we were going
Oh, okay. I guess the other education thing.
Yeah.
Stuff. Mineralogy was my favorite course.
Yeah. And I've also got a GG, graduate gemologist degree from GIA, but I went to the new campus.
you went to the palace.
Yes, I went to the nice campus, kind of overlooking flower fields and everything in Southern California. So that was pretty nice. But
We overlooked the office complex of Santa Monica.
Ooh, nice.
They weren't bad, but nothing like what you had. I mean, it's like
We had ocean view.
yeah, but you had your campus was by far nicer than
Oh,
ours
yeah.
was.
Oh yeah.
The nicest part of ours was the parking lot was paved.
So anyway, we do have a lot of education in the jewelry business, especially in gemstones, and so that's why we kind of come down and talk to you guys about this and kind of give you a little bit of education and background on some of these stones and different types of gems that are used in the jewelry business. Today we're talking about one specific, very, very famous stone.
Yeah. Well,
one of the most famous diamonds.
Since we talked about the pink star last week,
Yeah.
we thought, I don't know where that stone ended up at. I don't know if it's in the United States. I would doubt it, but maybe. Yeah. I'd almost say I would think that maybe Graf bought that stone or something.
It's probably in Europe somewhere.
Could be.
Anyway, the one we're talking about today is in the United States.
It was in Europe for a long time.
Yep.
Actually, before that, it was probably in India for a long time.
Yeah.
So they
it's had a nasty history.
Well, and everybody says that. I mean,
but it has. That's why they say it.
Oh, they call it a curse, but I don't think that's. I mean, the thing is something like the Hope Diamond, which we haven't brought up, but we're talking about. The largest blue diamond in the world.
Natural blue.
Natural blue. Actually, probably the largest blue diamond, period.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Whether it's natural or not.
Yeah.
The thing happens there is that's going to stay with somebody, or it's going to be with somebody that has either incredible power or incredible wealth, because there's only one of. Tavernier, or is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that...
Tavernet?
Tavernet, maybe Tavernet.
Tavernet.
because he was French.
Yes.
I'm not sure how he got it to begin with. I mean, he was going around.
He bought it.
I know he bought it, but
From
you got to kind of wonder a little bit. Whoever he bought it from's got to think, well, this is the only one we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and he bought it from the Indians, which is much older culture than.
Yeah, and this in mid-17th century, 1669. But before that, and you know, I've kind of read back on some of this, and this has been.
You're still reading
this
back.
Is, yeah, this has been a few years ago, but there was actually a documentary on the Hope Diamond that kind of alluded to where its origination was and kind of some of the transformation that it went through to get to even this point.
Yeah.
And originally, the way the story goes is originally this stone was the French blue, and it was kind of a weird.
Well, before that, originally it was an Indian stone. And
yeah,
it was
but
considerably larger.
Yeah, and it was kind of a weird shield shape, kind of geometric.
Almost a
shape.
kite, kind of a kite shape or triangular shape.
Yeah. And the way the story goes with that is it was actually the eye of an Indian idol or god or something, statue.
Sounds like a good story. The old god with the triangular eye.
Piercing eyes.
Yeah.
But anyway, what happened
You could do
was...
that glass eye joke, except you could call it the diamond eye joke, I guess.
Oh, that'd be a lot cooler.
Yeah. Maybe it would be as funny.
No, that's probably true. But supposedly, in the middle of the night, a thief went and actually took the stone out of the statue.
Is this an Indiana Jones story? And just
It could be. It could be. But took it out and hid it for several years, and then was able to get it recut into what is now the current shape of the Hope Diamond, which is kind of a
Well, no.
roll.
There was some cutting went on before that because what my understanding is the original stone was over 100 carats.
Yeah,
And
about one.
And the French
110.
blue before it got to supposedly England was somewhere around 70 some carats because it got recut after what was it? Louis the 14th? No, Louis the 4th?
14th.
14th?
Yep.
Louis the 14th got it, and
Yeah, we could probably show you guys a picture of the Hope. I'm sure you've heard. I'm sure that you've seen a picture of it at least.
but probably not like that. That's a little unusual that it's
Yeah,
not
it's
in
out
a
of the
setting.
mountain. Yeah, because actually GIA is the only ones that's been allowed to.
That's not true either.
Really? Well, what the heck? That documentary's got some problems, or you've got some other stories.
Winston has had it.
Well, I'm talking that's had it out
Unmounted.
to actually grade it. Since it's been at the Smithsonian, they've been the ones to allowed to take it out of its mounting, grade the stone.
Because
and
it wasn't
everything.
actually there for a long time. They thought it was like 44 and a half carats or
Yeah,
something.
it's 45.52 carats.
Yeah, and GIA was the one that would have done that.
Yeah.
But, anyways, the Indians have it, and I don't know, I wish Tavernet or whatever his name was, I wish he would have kind of that story, and it's probably written down somewhere, but how he got it, but it got recut by a French diamond cutter, which back then I'm not sure how many good French cutters there were. Oh, look at that, we got a photo bomb. But anyways, they recut it, and then when did the French Revolution happen? 1792 or somewhere in there.
You weren't
Something
there?
like that.
No.
Yeah.
But anyways,
1792.
the king had it, and then whenever the king got deposed of, it went to the government. But like somewhere during this revolution thing, somebody ransacked the government and stole not only the French blue, but some other diamonds. And my understanding, it ended up in England, and it got recut again to
What it is now.
what it is now.
And actually,
And the little documentary thing that Colton was talking about, there for a long time, nobody thought that the Hope Diamond could be the French Blue because they didn't think there was any way to keep the size that it was from what it actually weighed to begin with. But there was some guys computer generated and orienting the crystal and everything.
We're able to find out that it was possible and probable
Yeah.
that that's what had happened.
Yeah. So again, this is the largest blue diamond in the world. Happens to be sitting in the Smithsonian. And then the other thing that's a little bit unusual, I think it's only been out of the Smithsonian 4 times. I think Winston's had it once or twice. It was at the Louvre, I know, at one time. And I'm not sure where I think South Africa had it at one time. But that's, otherwise, you know, it's like, the first time I seen it was at Smithsonian, but it was before they redid the gems and mineral thing. And it was like to me it looked like a ship, what do you call it, a little
Porthole.
Yeah, porthole. But it's like, it was a big glass thing, and that glass looked like it was like, I don't know, 6-8 inches thick. Maybe it wasn't that thick, but it just seemed like it was really thick. And it was in the old setting that Cartier would have made. And then the second time I saw it was when Colton and I were at the Smithsonian, and it had been moved, and it had its own case.
That it would rotate 90 degrees every 15 seconds or something like that.
Well, yeah, I was wondering if, it was kind of a gradual, it wasn't just like...
And you were only allowed to stand around it for so long.
Well,
they had guards over there that said, you need to keep moving. It's like,
yeah, I don't know that we got pressed that much, though.
no.
But since then, when did we see it? What would that have been? 2000 what?
No,
Oh,
that
it
would
would
have
have
been
2000, would it?
98, 99
Now it's been reset. Harry Winston came in and did a new setting for
in
it.
2010. Yeah.
So I haven't seen it in that new setting, except pictures.
Yeah.
But it looks a lot nicer in the new setting than what it did in the old one.
Okay, so we can't talk about the Hope and not bring up and not talk a little bit about the cursed history that you don't believe in. But it's got such a long documented strain of
everybody that's owned it,
except for Harry Winston,
well,
has had major issues. Matter of fact, this is kind of a fun story and it's quick. Believe it or not, the Hope Diamond, when it went to the Smithsonian, it walked right through the front door via the post office, and Harry Winston basically put it in a box and sent it through the post office, and they delivered it right through the front door, and it was insured for $100. Now, the way the story goes is it was either a week or 2 weeks later the postman that delivered that actually died.
well,
And it was just a mysterious death. They don't know.
but that's something that's going to happen. I mean, you're going to die.
Yeah, but you don't go from being a perfectly healthy postman. You deliver the Hope, and then all of a sudden, you're gone. I mean, that's...
You think the Hope caused that? Come on.
Okay, but you look at the past. You got all these people that have had it, and at one point there was one lady that practically wanted to just give the thing away because
I'd take it.
I wouldn't want you to have it. I mean, you've got it. It comes to the French royalty, and then they have a revolution and get overthrown. It gets stolen, and then recut, shows up in London in 1830. So
That guy gets in debt and has to sell it, which was, what was his name? Elias or something?
Henry Philip Hope bought it for $90,000, and then he died 9 years later.
So
His nephew...
Is that a curse, 9 years? I mean, the one guy was, 2 weeks? So as it progresses, it gets shorter and shorter.
I'm guessing so. But it was one of those things that...
The one that basically made it famous was Hope, And
Yeah.
Hope was he a newspaper guy? What was it? What did he do?
It doesn't say in here.
I think, but anyways, his wife was McLean Walsh. What was her name?
That was later.
Yeah, but she was married to Hope.
No. Edward B.
Oh,
McLean,
right. Oh, McLean. Yeah, he bought it.
owner of the Washington Post.
He bought it from. Oh, Hope.
No. Cartier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about Cartier, because Cartier would have made the setting, or commissioned to have the setting made.
Yeah, commissioned to have the
We're
setting
not-
made.
We're going to do a little detective work, and we'll kind of tell you. We're not sure who made the original Hope setting, but we think we know. But we want to make sure who that
Yeah.
is before we say.
But there was a lot that went through.
And there's some things that are unusual. I know that whenever GIA got the chance to check the Hope out, that they x-rayed the stone, which I don't understand why you'd x-ray. I mean, you can see what's ever in there, but apparently x-ray does something. But when they x-rayed it, the stone glowed red.
Yeah,
And it
which
was
is really
like-
unusual.
It was actually several seconds after it had been
Yeah, so-
x-rayed, and they thought they'd
So it
I-
fluoresced and phosphoresced.
yeah, so I'm thinking, whoever did that go, uh-oh, we did have a blue diamond, now we got a red one, and we don't know what color it's going to be when it gets done. I'm thinking, you got maybe one of the biggest treasures of the Smithsonian is the Hope Diamond,
Yeah.
and there's a possibility that maybe you make it a black one instead of a blue one. Wouldn't that be a bummer? Oh,
Yeah.
we screwed up there.
Yeah.
But it
that
turned
wouldn't have
back to
been good.
blue. So
Yeah.
the other thing that's kind of interesting is Tavernet, whenever he described this stone, so he did have some kind of notes or whatever, he called it a violetish blue.
It says sapphire blue.
Well, I've heard violetish blue.
Well, I'm reading sapphire blue.
Well, that's a spin. You can have all sorts of spin.
Yeah, it's got.
But whenever they
basically,
went
it's
in-
got lots of stories.
Whenever they went in and did a deal where they analyzed the color,
Uh-huh.
GIA analyzed the color, there is some violetish color in the blue. I know, but if you read the little deal on how they checked it out, there is some violet in the Hope,
Yeah.
even though the main part of it is kind of a steel blue. That's what you actually see, but there's part of the maybe the violet spectrum that's hard to see
Yeah.
is in that stone.
Wow.
And then what type of diamond is it? 2B. Here, I'll help you out. 2B.
It's a 2B.
And what does a 2B diamond do? Oh, look at this.
It's been so long since I've.
Okay, so
Done
it's
the-
actually a semiconductor, so it'll actually conduct electricity.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because blue diamonds, what I was told, some of the first satellites that went up had to be able to conduct electricity plus a heat sink.
Mm-hmm.
The first semiconductors were actually blue diamonds. So this one, a little more unusual. There's all sorts
Yeah.
of little things that's like, almost like firsts, or makes it unique even because of its size.
Yeah.
Now, what makes it blue?
Boron.
Yeah. But,
Yeah. Such a weird thing to have in there that.
yeah, I don't even know. Do we have to have, is boron, we don't need it as a vitamin or anything like that, do we?
I'd hope not. Normally it's a gas.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't need no more gas.
And that was said. Yeah, you would think that, after some of these comments like this, that we'd stop doing these live. But anyway, it is a really cool stone. If you're ever in Washington, D.C., and you happen by the Smithsonian, it's definitely worth going in and checking out. It's at the Museum of Natural History.
Free.
Yes, it is. Or at least,
No, I think it's free to get in.
is it?
Yeah, we didn't have to pay.
Yeah,
I've never paid.
but it's
But
been,
maybe
it's been
maybe I
over a
shouldn't say
decade
that
since
either.
we've been there, so.
Yeah, that's true.
But it does have a storied past, we'll say that. It's had lots of owners, and
Most of them have had to try and pay bills or died, I guess.
there was one family that, within a week of getting it, they had the dog died. It was actually run over by a carriage, I think. Then two of the sons died of pneumonia or something like that. Then the husband died, and then the one that owned it, she went crazy and sold it. And then
But
yeah,
McLean, did she have that during World War II? And that's what?
Yeah, I think so.
She had parties for the army guys and stuff, and a lot of times
Yeah,
she
she
wore
died
that
in-
at the parties.
yeah, and she died in 1947.
And then that's when Harry Winston would have bought
And she
basically
willed it.
her whole estate.
She actually willed it to the Hope family, and
Really?
they sold it in 1949 to pay debts and claims against the estate.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Winston bought it from her estate.
Harry Winston bought the Hope along with McLean's other jewelry for about $1.3 million.
Oh, so did she will all of her stuff to the Hopes? That'd be kind of weird.
Oh no, willed the Hope to heirs, not
Oh, okay.
not the Hope to the heirs of the Hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It was weird. That was worded a little bit weird, but yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, he bought that and then donated the
To the
Hope
Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Want to guess how much it's worth?
No idea.
Be over 70, wouldn't it? Be over 70 million?
I would think it would be well over 70 million.
Because it would be rarer than the pink that just sold.
And by far more famous.
Well,
You know, I mean, yeah, you have a crazy nice pink diamond, that's something to talk about, but when you say the Hope diamond,
everybody knows. Well, not everybody, but everybody in the jewelry business knows.
anybody that's ever heard anything about famous diamonds or famous jewelry or anything like that, the first thing they're going to think of is the Hope diamond.
Yeah. Unless you're in England, then they're going to think of the Cullinan.
The Cullinan, yeah.
And what do they call the big one?
Star of Africa.
Star of Africa, yeah.
Yeah. Which we can talk about that one later. That's a 530 carat pear shape
But
that
it's
is D-flawless.
but it's not the largest one anymore.
No. It's
We'll
not.
have to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, April is Diamond Month, and we talked about the pink, and so Colt and I go.
People trying to call in the middle of our show. So, anyway, check it out. Look up the Hope Diamond. Google it. Check out the new setting that it's in. Harry Winston, the one that actually donated the Hope to the Smithsonian, just built a new setting for it, and it is incredible. So you'll have to check that out. But be sure to tune in next week. We're going to still be talking about diamonds, and we're going to do that all through April. And so if there's anything that you guys would like to hear about or know about, send us a message or give us a call here at Suzann's. We're at the corner of Everhart and Alameda here in Corpus Christi at 4254 South Alameda in the Town and Country Shopping Center. And you can give us a call at 361-991-7565. Thanks, and we will see you next week.